James noticed the area around him was starting to brighten. I guess it's morning already. James let out a light yawn, though it wasn't due to him being tired. With the sun slowly rising, it became easier to see further out from the camp. Now that he was able to see more of the forest, he wasn't surprised to see that only some forest animals were seen off in the distance away from their camp. It was as though the animals were actively avoiding where they set up. Is it because whatever is following us is only covering our immediate surroundings? James pondered the thought, unsure what to think of the situation. It's possible that the animals are slowly adapting to the feeling of dread. He thought about their own situation and how he remembered adventurers getting used to the dangers of the simulated world so they end up disregarding best practices. Raising his arm, James tapped on the bracelet. The familiar menu popped up. Out of habit, James looked to see whether his stats had improved or if he was still level 20. Yep, nothing has changed there. He tried not to become discouraged. Maybe it'll increase soon, considering we ate at the nicer dining area. The information unfortunately didn't provide any kind of graph to indicate how close adventurers were to the next level. Without any clue whether they were close to leveling, they instead tried to develop a sense of how close they were based on their actions. The types of food they ate, how concentrated the energy was in the air, and how their body felt at the moment. It wasn't an exact science and often was wildly inaccurate. However, adventurers still tried to trade information about how to gauge how close they were to leveling up. James sighed, removing his helmet, using a hand to run through his hair. It's already getting pretty greasy, since I haven't showered in days. James couldn't help but take a sniff of his hand. The oil from his hair had a distinct smell that anyone in his profession was accustomed to. With his helmet off, James took a moment to enjoy the cool air. An occasional breeze blew between the trees, bringing not only fresh air, but a sense of the freedom of where they were. Even if it was dangerous, James still preferred being out in nature. Looking up, James sighed at the canopy. It would be nice if I could see the sky. Unfortunately, I doubt we'll see the sky for several months, based on the drawing Mim made. The forest was a massive area, as though a sea of green divided the region. Those who didn't want to go through the forest were likely to start a journey that lasts over a year, possibly longer. It was why most merchants factored into their wares the cost for the trip around the forest. Due to the types of monsters that existed in the forest, a merchant wouldn't be able to travel through it. Even finding adventurers willing to go deep into it would be difficult since there weren't any adventurers that had successfully made their way through the forest. In fact, as far as James knew, Mim's group was the only one to have traveled the deepest into the dangerous area. I guess it didn't decide to show up today. James looked to see if the forest wolf that visited him was anywhere to be seen. It's possible that it lost interest. He took a deep breath and slowly let it out, not wanting to think too much on the matter.